Miami's home to many interesting things. 24-hour nightclubs, beautiful beaches, BBLs, ostentatious displays of wealth, and a version of American English which, if you're not used to, can really leave you scratching your head. And so in this video, we'll discuss the Miami way of speaking and what makes it so fascinating. Now, first things first, as I lived in Miami for just under 6 years, dated a few girls from Doral and Hialeah respectively, and spent far too much time eating shit, I'm definitely a qualified authority to discuss this subject. So generally, the Miami way of speaking is one that can be defined by a number of things, including but not limited to specific pronunciations and the use of popular phrases. But depending on where you are in Miami, the style of speaking may shift dramatically. What do I mean? Well, if we take areas like Overtown, Opa-locka, Cutler Bay, or Liberty City, you'll hear a lot more of a Southern style African-American vernacular English, but with its own twang and unique twist. Listen to this.
People should be able to be free with their body,
whatever
they want to do. If a man want to go get a BBL, what?
Yeah, normalize the HBL.
Be free, be you, do what you want. These people, we all gotta die one day.
This accent can be characterized by a rhythmic, musical quality and distinct pronunciations. For example, you might hear the TH sound pronounced more like a D or a T, like you do in Caribbean English. So instead of the word that, you may hear dat.
That deep tissue. I fly a lot, so I had them knots in my shoulder, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? But that deep tissue, I need that.
You got a big personality because you're Aquarius. And I'm an Aquarius.
That's what that is?
Yeah, we got big personalities. And it's hard to match our personality.
And there's a drawing out of certain words like heard or feel. Like, you heard me or you feel me. That's a terrible example, but you get the point. Now, this is an accent which, as alluded to earlier, has its roots in Southern style African-American vernacular English and immigration from the Caribbean, in particular the Bahamas. Now, moving on to the Miami accent that fascinates me the most. It's the one that's influenced by Latin American culture. You can definitely hear it in places like Hialeah, Doral, Kendall, and Little Havana. And in areas like Little Havana and Hialeah specifically, you'll hear a distinct Cuban accent, which is absolutely no surprise, since Cubans have been moving there in large numbers since the 1950s. And as a side note, Hialeah in particular has one of the largest concentrations of Cubans in the United States. Now, this accent is heavily influenced by Spanglish, so it mixes standard American English with a lot of Spanish or Latin American, in particular Cuban influences. So do not be surprised if you're spoken to in Spanish or Spanglish first when going to these areas. Now, over in Doral, you'll hear a slightly different accent, which is a blend of other Latin American cultures, particularly Colombian and Venezuelan, which is reflective of a more recent wave of immigration. Now, to the untrained ear, this kind of Latin American influenced Miami accent sounds one and the same, and so in this video I'm going to bulk them together. What's super interesting about this accent is that a lot of people that have it swear they sound neutral, is to say they think they speak standard American English in a neutral tone, and trust me, you don't. You've clearly got an accent and it's got a twang to it, a Latin American twang. So with that being said, what are some common things that people with this accent say, and how do they say it?
Irregardless, I don't care.
Ask me if I care.
No, because supposedly,
He just got a boat.
that's ridiculous.
It's so poofy. It's so humid outside.
Hey, Chrissy, do you have a liga? I am super bloated.
Super white.
Super faded.
Super hungry.
Super constipated.
Ew, super gross.
So although that clip was comedy, there was some truth to it. A word a lot of Miamians use irrespective of whether the recipient of the message is male or female is the word bro. Bro is used or overused in Miami. Secondly, irregardless, which literally means regardless. Speaking of literally, the word literally is used all the time and pronounced as such, literally. Also, supposedly, she went out tonight. Also, the words pero like are used as a filler word. So instead of the word but, which is pretty simple to use, I was going to the shop, but my mum called me to come back home. They would say, I was going to the shop, pero like, my mum called me to come back home. So pero like is actually longer than the word but it's used or overused in Miami. In addition, it's important to mention what I would call some Spanishisms. So it's the way sentences are structured and the way questions in particular are phrased. I remember I used to play football or soccer in Miami for a while, and I had a guy from Doral on my team, and he would say to me, bro, you need to make me a pass. Like, you need to make me a pass. Not you need to pass me the ball, you need to make me a pass, or I want to make a pass. I'm like, dude, you can't make a pass, you need to pass the ball. What are you talking about? It took me a while to get used to that, but I got used to it in the end. Also things like, I'm going to get down from this thing. So I'm going to get down from the car. I'm not going to get out of the car. I'm going to get down from the car. That's a literal translation of the term. Me voy a bajar del coche. So you can see how there's a Spanishism there in the phrasing of a term or a question, or when just saying things, there's often a literal translation, which you have to train your ear for to get used to. And if you like to train your ear, then give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more language learning tips and tricks. One more thing that fascinates me with this accent is its cadence and the pronunciation of certain letters. The letter L is heavily weighted with this accent, so the word like will become like, and the word literally will become literally. You see that heavy weighting on the L in both words. There's also something that's done with some vowels like O and U. So a word like about will become about, like, what are you talking about? Now, on to the third and final accent that I'd like to discuss in this video. It comes from Little Haiti in North Miami. As the name indicates, Little Haiti is named after the Haitian community which started to move to Miami in large numbers in the 1980s. The accent here is melodic with a rhythm that's distinct to the Haitian dialect. And if you're in this part of the world, you may hear things like sans passer. In Little Haiti, you'll hear a mixture of African-American vernacular English and Haitian Creole. Listen to this.
I think now within the culture, you got many kids like my age, they want to become closer to the culture. You got kids that's younger than me. They want, now they're trying to find their way back to the culture. So I think it was a disconnect at some point, which, you know, it happens throughout generations. But I think now I see excitement around the culture. I see younger folks want to understand the language, want to know the foods and stuff like that. So it's excitement around it. So I'm not going to say it's just lost completely, but it's definitely exciting.
So you're probably wondering, what about downtown? What about Brickell? What about the accents on the beach? As we know, generally speaking, Miami Beach, Brickell, and downtown all have influences from absolutely everywhere. You're going to find foreigners, you're going to find standard American English speakers, you're going to find Miamians, and you're going to find a bunch of people who do not speak English. Anyway, please let me know what you think about Miami accents down in the comments below. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.